And welcome back, everyone. Ellington here, and we are back on Total War Rome 2. And we have got ourselves a 3 versus 3 on the Grand Settlement of Alexandria. You can see the Lighthouse of Alexandria prominently displayed in the background there. Like I said, this is a 3 versus 3. This battle, looks interesting. You know, it's not a super long battle, but that doesn't always mean that the battle's bad, right? You know, you could still have good, intense battles that have a slightly shorter time limit. You know, it just sometimes just means it's a very fast-paced fight, right? So, you know, I hope it's good. You know, most of the players I recognize, and usually when they send me battles, they're good. So let's go ahead and look at who we've got. We have Parthia being commanded by Why So Serious. We've got Seleucid being commanded by Geronimo. And finally, we have got Arverni being commanded by Graikos. For the defenders, we've got Iceni being commanded by Mia. We've got Suebi being commanded by Hagahai. And finally, I don't think we can really see them, but we have got... Oh, no, yeah, we can. Lusitani here being commanded by Nerevarine? Yeah, you get it. Pretty standard setup here on Alexandria for this attack. Usually you see an attack down this avenue right here, you know, typically with kind of a slow burn going here with some archer play, you know, outside. But the main assault typically happening this way. This direction does not typically get attacked until a little bit later in the assault, after more, you know, pressure and progress has been made through this main courtyard. Then you begin to kind of start seeing pressure be put here, and then the eventual push on the outside there. Usually, players, as a kind of rule of thumb, we don't typically blow these walls early on, mostly because then we can kind of keep the defenders bottled up here, right? You know, to come outside, they don't have a very good avenue of surprise attack from this direction. And by opening the walls here, when you don't plan on attacking it yet, you're just opening up areas where the defenders can send, you know, stuff out to bug you if they want to. So usually we don't touch that yet until you start seeing that pressure be applied here. We've already had a little bit of archer play, had some longbow hunters duking it out with some Parthian foot archers, and then a lot of death has happened to Seleucid hillmen, if you can't see. Actually, I think they're Eastern, maybe a combo of hillmen and Eastern spears. Got a lot of cheap units here from Parthia and Seleucid getting ready to go in. You got your sword band units here from Iceni. The sword band should be able to pretty well deal with the hillmen and Eastern spears. Hillmen and Eastern spears are not the creme de la creme of units. You can see they are going to square formation, basically allowing for or hoping for some javi tosses there. But that's exactly why the sword band pulled off. Up on the wall, we got Britain skirmishers up on the wall, firing down at looks like the hillmen, while the sword band, excuse me, basically just kind of hold the line so the attackers can't get up that wall there. On the right-hand side, we've got Lusitani, we've got Balearic slingers. Up on the wall, they've got the Iberian skirmishers. So I think they're playing with the 4-in-1 rule, which is 4 ranged, aka slingers, archers, plus 1 skirmisher, and it could be even plus 2 skirmishers. I'm not sure yet. That is a relatively common rule set Usually you only see it in like the in-house, you know, where everybody's playing in a Discord, mostly because it's hard to communicate a different rule set than the normal rule set, quote unquote, without chat, you know. So you can see that the attackers are actually going for the early break here. They are breaking the walls now. They're probably going to end up having to break this with a tower. Well, no, it broke. A lot of times these two walls right here are really kind of glitchy. They, you know, you get to like 76% broken and your tortoise glitches out, basically, where your guys drop the tortoise and stop trying to get off of it. Chosen Sword Band coming to face off on some Parthian swords that are getting dropped on the left wall. We don't usually see this. Don't typically see a drop on this wall. It could be just them trying to silence the skirmishers and such up here. Got Britain skirmishers. They basically just moved them down the wall. Or that could be a second unit. Yeah, I think that's a second unit. Sword Band, 70 kills, taking on some Hillmen with 39. You do have a relatively beat-up Chosen Swordman here with 55 kills. Levy Freeman getting beat up by some Balearic Slingers, it looks like. You can see they've kind of set themselves up a little bit of a wall here, trying to basically alleviate some of the tower fire that's happening. What their probably goal is to get some archers up here, because this is all very squishy. But the Balearic Slingers are getting some shots off out over the tortoise there. So, you know, Arverni's not getting this for free. We do have Iberian swords that have come out of the settlement as well. No, so yeah, just Iberian swords. 50 kills getting in on some of these Levy Freemen and some Eastern Spears. And of course, it's always a good day when Lusitani's on the field. Any new time watchers, you will soon find out that Lusitani's my favorite faction. Oh, look at this. We actually have some towers way out here on the right-hand side, pushing to threaten this. We also have some cavalry out from Iceni. They've lost some men, but don't have any kills. I wonder if they were in a spot where they got hit by some of the scorpions on top of the towers or something. Club Levy charging in against the Hillmen. Hillmen are just about as bad a unit as a cheap unit as you can get. They're 210 gold, and really probably the only thing better about them than a Young Axe from Chimeri is the fact that Young Axes don't get Javies and Hillmen do. Other than that, they're both pretty terrible units. Also have some Thorax swords coming in. They'll be able to deal with the Club Levy. But here we go. Got some Bloodsworn. This is what I like to see from Swaby. A lot of people would consider Bloodsworn not really worth it due to their squishiness is probably the best way to put it. They very low armor, but they are a very high charge unit. So they're very good if you can get some really good cycle charges. So between the Club Levy and the Bloodsworn, usually you can get a pretty good mix-up. So you can see the swap there. Club Levy charges in, the Bloodsworn pulls out. It helps alleviate some of the losses you take running away. And then it also allows you to fully kind of set back up and charge back in. Have another Club Levy up here. Chosen Swords as well now. Unfortunately, the Bloodsworn kind of got caught by the Chosen Sword here. Basically, the Bloodsworn charged in, used its charge, and then the Chosen Sword was able to hit it. So the Chosen Sword definitely getting the better out of that. Some Scutari spears. Iberian swords. Looks like the Balearics still trying to get shots in on these archers outside. Now we've got more and more thorax swords coming in from Seleucid. Looks like they're going to lead the way. I wonder, did Arverni go heavy Oathsworn? Because between Parthia and Seleucid, they've got a lot of mid-tier. They've got the one... To be honest with you, I only see the one Oathsworn. I'm a little surprised. Well, Parthia did go heavy in cavalry, so that could be why. They've got noble horse archers as the general, 2 units of camel cataphracts. And that's it. And then okay, so that's why they didn't go heavy Oathsworn. Because we got Syrian armored elephants, Indian armored elephants, 2 units of camel cataphracts. So a lot of money spent by the other 2 factions. Otherwise, I think we probably would have seen a very heavy Oathsworn presence from Arverni, while the other 2 factions, Seleucid and Parthia, carried that mid-tier unit. And we've got Indian war elephants going in already. Look at this. Now, a lot of the stuff in here does not have shield wall, so there goes some of the usability for that. We have counter cavalry tactics from the Scutari spears. They're going to charge in. We got some Javies in here already. Indian war elephants don't have very good armor, so javelins and such are very good against them. They are also berserk, and now they're going to turn around and get in on their own allied units. That is the risk of a unit like this. And sadly, so they have 246 kills, but sadly that does not account for the kills that they got on their own men. And they're still going. Now they're turning back around. That hurt quite a bit. Look at that. And now, honestly, yeah, Swaby deciding to take advantage here. He's going in. Chosen swords from Arverni, trying to kind of plug this up a little bit. Chosen sword band from Iceni also getting in on the mix. Got artillery coming in now. I think that's Parthia. He's got 30 kills. Cav coming in on Seleucid's archers. There's the Britain scout riders, and nobody's watching. Oh, no. Not only that, they could get this, they could get this, and then they could get this. And nobody knows. Oh, their perfect counter is standing right next to it. Cavalry is not very good against elephants. Elephants are a good counter to it. They scare the horses, and the horses have trouble killing them. Now, they're lucky that the Britain Scout Riders are a pretty weak cavalry unit. They're not great. When I say weak, like, let's say this was a camel cataphract. These would have been gone already. It's a lower tiered cav unit, and that's why it's taking so long. And unfortunately, Seleucid does see it and turns his general around, so they may save this unit. If I was him, I would just pull on and go for the arty. I would have done that already. Shattered, he's gone. The elephant's still in the fight here, 271 kills. He just used his, whatever that thing's called, Stampede. My brain was thinking Stomp, and I was like, it's not Stomp, it's not that. So 271, 284, he's getting a couple kills still. I'm actually surprised that they have stuck with this elephant this long. With how much he got into their own units, I figured they would have killed him by now. Arverni also getting a good push in against this area here. You can see he's got units pushing this way, and he's pushed Lusitani out of there. The camel cataphracts also getting in on this, and this is bad for the defenders because Lusitani's terrible against cavalry. Swaby's terrible against cavalry. You know, Swaby, at least some of their units have shield wall, but Lusitani, even like their spears, they're so lightweight. Look at this. The camel cataphracts just obliterate them. And yes, I get that the veteran shield warrior was in the middle of moving, but even if they weren't, the camel cataphract probably still would have done a huge amount of damage. They're in a bunch of trouble right now because, honestly, they're going to take huge losses here. Night Hunters coming in, that's going to be helpful because they do have counter cavalry tactics, but, you know, they want to kill these guys quick. 246, by the way. They are gone. 247 on the camels. That was painful. That was very painful. Basically, what they had to do here was throw as many numbers as they could to stop the cavalry. Then once the cavalry was stopped, they could finally get in and start, killing it. But here comes another unit. We've got some wolf warriors taking on chosen swords. Another wolf warrior in reserve. Probably get a swap here soon, I assume. Camel cataphracts are... Oh, this is going to hurt. 0 kills, so we're about to get a clean view. Well, never mind. He's turning around. I was going to say we were about to get a clean view of the amount of kills that a camel cataphract gets against Lusitani, in a frontal charge. It does look like the elephant was able to buy them some breathing room. It forced the attackers to have to kind of pull back a little bit here. They did below the stadium. They waited a little bit. They wanted to wait until they could hope that something would be sitting next to it. So you could see they did get some kills right on the edge here. Heroic nobles as well. Camel cataphracts charged in on some wolf warriors, it looks like. 53 kills, 54 kills. You probably want to turn around and try and get another charge in. They do need to be careful. You got Balearic slingers up there. They're getting some good shots into them. So I'm just kind of browsing around, seeing there's a lot going on right now. It does look like they've kind of broken through the line here. They broke through some Bloodsworn, and another unit of Bloodsworns is not going to stop them. 219, 224. Veteran Shield Warrior come in. He might have a Javi toss for him. Sword Masters as well, but the Sword Masters might be able to get a shield wall. Does look like they're about to break. They've got 234, 35. Up their back. They're exhausted, though. That's not going to help. Okay, camel cataphracts are gone, so that is one threat dealt with. But a lot of time, but a lot of space has been won by the attackers now, and they are in full frontal mode here. Heroic nobles have pushed forward into the thorax sword from Seleucid. Got more thorax. We've got the Persian Lights. Interesting. Seleucid went with Persian Lights instead of the Syrians. Usually you get the Syrians. It's typically just kind of a, auto pick as your archers, as Seleucid is Syrian heavy archers. And it probably is due to the expense of the elephants that he did that. Noble whore archers, wink wink. Noble horse archers entering. They might just be coming to give a buff or a second wind, possibly. Artie coming in, using fire shot now. Launching back towards the point. We've got Veteran Shield Warriors back here, Lusitani Nobles, Longbow Hunters for Swaby. Man, look at the elephants got all the way back here. Oh, those are the armored elephants.
We understand.
Where did they get in? So that was one of Seleucid's armored elephants. I don't remember seeing them go in. They still have their Indian armored elephants, so it was their Syrians. Trying to get some pop shots back here in the back against Iceni. He's got a Scorpion, he's got his General, a Chosen Sword Band, so there's some stuff still sitting back there. They're double teaming a Thorax Sword, but it doesn't look like they've got anything holding the gap right now. So they're either planning on giving this up, or yeah, they're giving it up. So that seems to be the gist of it. Well, now I'm not sure because the Bloodsworn turned around and are going to the gap, as well as some Heroic Nobles. Heroic Nobles 122 kills with a Chevron. It's not bad. Kimberly Bowwomen 115, 68. So Swaby went 2 and 2, it looks like. 2 Kimberly Bowwomen and then 2 Longbow Hunters. Now, interesting, they kind of let them through a little bit and then charged in. And if it was the one unit, I see, but you've got a Chosen Sword here, too, that now has you on the flank. And, you know, you're a unit that wants to try and move. So I'm not sure they meant to do that. Heroic Nobles now at 144 kills. Thorax at 91 out of 160. And they've got 79 kills. Here we go. Veteran Shield Warriors charging in on some Hillmen. They're going to obliterate this unit. Veteran Shield Warriors. I'm telling you right now. I'm using hand motions just so you know. Veteran Shield Warriors in 1-to-1 combat against other mid-tiers are one of the best mid-tiers in the game. And I'm talking just mano-a-mano, man-to-man, my unit versus your unit. They are superb. They just don't like getting shot. I mean, nobody likes getting shot, right? They really don't like getting shot. Like, really don't. More so than most units. So they pulled out and swapped out for the Swordmaster General from Swaby. That's probably a good swap here. I haven't seen any other Swordmasters for Swaby, so I wonder if they even have any more other than their General. I've mostly seen Bloodsworn, Wolf Warriors, and Club Levy. And due to the Wolf Warriors, they may not have any Swordmasters. Wolf Warriors are like 700-something gold. And as you can see, Seleucid has kind of broken through here. The Kimberly Bowwomen look to be out of ammo, but I'm not sure why they kept them here still. Britain Slingers do not look to be out of ammo, but they are basically trapped. They might still be able to get out of it. Man, I'm not gonna lie. The elephant here, that early elephant, honestly ended up doing a lot more damage in the way, maybe not as of kills, but in the way of breathing room. It really forced the defenders back. And it also doesn't help that really none of the defending factions are really built to be very good against elephants or heavy cavalry. So they've kind of been at a bit of a disadvantage here. You know, toe-to-toe, infantry-wise, the defending infantry is on par, if not better, than the attackers' infantry here. But that's not what the attackers went for. They went elephants and heavy cavalry which realistically is the big bane of existence of Swabian Lusitani. I know I've kind of said it a lot. I don't mean to be beating it, like a dead horse, but it just kind of is the gist of it. So unfortunately, the defender's kind of in a tough spot now. They've lost the far side. So they basically, on this side, are not in... This is not a very good defensive side because of how large this gap is. And it takes, 2 units to fill it. So it's just not great. And then you have a gap here. And you have a gap here. You have a gap here. Then you have a gap here. You know what I mean? There's a lot of openings to this final point on Alexandria. And it can make it a bit tough. Lusitani holding the right, but look at that. What do? They bring over their heavy archers and their elephants. Indian armored elephants have got 66 kills, and I think that's mostly the cavalry from earlier that was attacking the archers, and the archers on the elephants are shooting. Veteran shield warriors on the wall fighting both thorax swords and chosen swords. The problem is they're also getting shot, and they don't like that. Noble horse archers just charging in. Swordmasters, they go headhunt, but no shield wall. I'm interested by that. The noble horse archers, while they are a horse archer, they are still a heavily armored unit. And so they still pack a decent punch with their charge. Charge bonus is only 22, but they're still pretty beefy, you know what I mean? It's not a terrible melee unit. So headhunt, battle rhythm, and then I assume we're probably going to get a second wind. Wait for the red. Wait for the red. Waiting. Good job. And now second wind. Although, they still didn't wait until the battle rhythm ran out. Interesting. Because, see, now the battle rhythm runs out, and while they're fresh, they're probably not, like, fresh. You know what I mean? Like the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air fresh. I don't know where that came from. It just is the way it is, and you guys just deal with it. Just deal with it. I don't want to hear none of your sass. Heroic Nobles backing up. Chosen Sword Band still. The Lusitani's still kind of holding this area over here. I guess we'll see. They have killed one elephant. They did take one elephant down. Looks like probably with javelins. What they're probably going to try and do is put a chosen sword and then bring the elephants in. Basically have something kind of take the meat of the javi toss. These guys are probably out of ammo. Oh, this veteran shield warrior is screwed. They are getting some good shots from the Balearic slingers on the wall. But it's probably not enough. Oh my god, look at that. They lost another elephant. 208. They probably want a little bit more to make this worth it. You probably want to be upwards of 300 kills. They are almost 2 chevrons, though, for those 200 kills. There it is. And now they've busted through. So here comes the Noble Horse Archers coming behind. We still have a mass attack going here. Although this Swaby seems to have... I don't know if he pushed them back or they gave him room. But regardless, they have been kind of pushed back to this intersection here. But it really doesn't matter because this elephant is just breaking their dreams. 340 kills. They're halfway to another chevron. They're desperately putting Javies on target here, and they have killed some, but this was a great tactical call by the attackers. You know, looking at the factions they're facing, because I believe, if I remember correctly, the person who sent this in did say that they randomly spun their factions. So then seeing their factions versus the defending factions and realizing that mano a mano, they may not be quite on the same level, this was a great idea to really exploit the weakness of the defenders here. Hopefully somebody from the game is watching and can let me know how... Am I right that the thought process of bringing these elephants and heavy cav was because of the factions, or was it just because you wanted to bring elephants and heavy cav? Let me know in the comment section if you're watching. But I hate to say, this game's over. And it's to be honest with you, it's been over for a little while. You know, and while this may not have been the closest battle, it honestly was a really good look at just a very sound tactical decision before the battle even started. So, I give props to that.
Yes, Commander.
Sure, have I seen, you know, way more exciting, close, nail-biter fights? Sure. But honestly, it's sometimes nice to see just a battle where you could see that you could see a clear thought process, and that the execution of it was very well done. Very well done. And I feel a little bad for the defenders because realistically, because they had spun factions, and they don't have bad factions either, they realistically just, there's not a whole lot they could have done about it. To be blunt with you about it, they kind of were stuck. It was just a really bad matchup. So you can see the timer is winding down. Who do you think got the most kills? Let's hear it in the comment section. I'm going to call Seleucid. That's going to be my guess. And look at that. Seleucid starting off. We got Geronimo. 2,649 kills. The two elephants, man. The Syrian did really well too. 511, excuse me. Infantry did okay. You could, honestly, not bad really. 265. Not bad. Graikos as Arverni with 2,223 kills. 215 on the Osworn General. Archers, 2 of them did really well. Infantry did pretty solid across the board. Why so serious? As Parthia, 1,959 kills, which really is not bad given the size of his army. You know, he doesn't have a huge army, and got pretty good kills. Mia as Iceni, 1418. Really just, honestly, kind of drawn down by the fact that their army was kind of stuck. You know what I mean? Same thing with Lusitani. And you could see Swaby leading the defenders, but realistically, mostly because they were probably the least, well, I was going to say maybe the least handicapped here, but really they were. But they did a really good job at getting, good cycle charges with most of their units, though you could see they obviously probably could have gotten a little bit better. But man, those elephants made it hard. That is going to be it for today's battle. Thank you guys so much for joining. Don't forget that if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys next time.